Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Steelbook edition of Fright Night. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, Fright Night is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu Ray, released by Sony. It comes in a non-exclusive Steelbook edition, available at your local and online retailers. Now, when it comes to the film itself, I've always liked the movie. I think when it comes to the vampire genre, it definitely has its place. And I always, when I would watch it, I like to do a double feature with this and The Burbs. They have a very similar setup and premise. Of course, one has to do with vampires, the other has to do with psycho neighbors, but kind of the same ballpark. But yeah, I like to double feature both of those. That's not to say I don't have a few issues with the movie itself. For one, this is one of those rare films that I kind of actively dislike the main protagonist, Charlie. I don't know, I always found his character extremely annoying, and then his, I would say, frenemy, Evil, kind of dialed up to an 11, also as annoying. For me, what really saves the movie is Roddy McDowall as Peter, and of course, Chris Sarandon as Vampire Jerry. I love both of those guys. They are awesome, and I think the movie has some good stuff going for it. There's some great atmosphere, some good makeup effects, and it's funny because after watching this on 4K, I think I kind of made a little bit of a connection between the vampire designs and what was used in Robert Rodriguez's From Dusk Till Dawn. They look very similar, especially when they're all like vamped out. I don't know if that's intentional, but you know, I like to think so, kind of a headcanon sort of thing. But yeah, I do like the movie. Once again, minor issues aside, I think it's really solid, but I'm glad that Sony put it out on 4K. All right, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment, but first, let's do a quick unboxing of the Steelbook. Okay, we have the 4K Ultra HD non-exclusive Steelbook edition of Fright Night. I really like the artwork. Of course, it goes back to what was used on previous home formats and original. So I think it's very solid, and it's got a nice finish to it. Then we have the back. The spine. Lettering's a little small, but you know, it is what it is. And then some artwork on the discs themselves. So yeah, I think pretty solid. Really solid offering from Sony. They did a good job. Now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Fright Night on 4K Ultra HD Blu Ray has a 239:1 aspect ratio with native 4K resolution and graded with both HDR10 and Dolby Vision. For purposes of this review, I will be discussing the Dolby Vision encode. Sony remastered this film for the 4K release based off the original camera negative. It didn't appear that there were any kind of imperfections or blemishes in the source, and I think it looked really good. Film grain is fairly consistent and looks cinematic. Colors do exhibit more boldness than in previous home format versions. The 80s aesthetic is on full display, from the various era-specific clothing to the lighting in the club midway through the film. It isn't necessarily eye-popping with the grading, though it's visually very pleasing. Despite the vampire subject matter, blood and gore aren't too prominently featured, but when it happens, it does look good. Black levels are generally satisfying. Night scenes are well rendered, though due to the way the film was shot, they don't look particularly deep and inky. When Jerry is following Evil in the alleyway, it looked pretty atmospheric, and other similar moments through the film follow suit. The 4K resolution increase modestly shows off better detail, but some stylistic softness limits those gains here. Textures do offer more depth, but it's not a revelation. Close-ups fare the best, and I found the ornate interior of Vampire Jerry's house more defined. Fright Night on 4K Ultra HD Blu Ray supports a new Dolby Atmos audio mix. Sony once again brings the goods to one of its catalog titles with a new Dolby Atmos experience. I found this track to be very engaging, though I did run across a few issues of my own. One of these problems may be from my own personal copy of the 4K disc. At around the 28-minute mark, the audio went out of sync and continued to stay that way until I backed out to the main menu and resumed playback. I did a rewind back to where it happened, and this time it played normally. I tried to recreate the glitch on another 4K player, but was unable to do so. I'll chalk this one up to a ghost in the machine kind of issue, but I still wanted to mention it. My second concern is really more of a preference. Given the 80s soundtrack score, I found some of the musical beats ran a little hot on occasion. A few guitar riffs, for instance, overpowered the rest of the on-screen audio more than a few times. Once again, this probably falls under the personal preference category, but for me, it was still distracting. With that out of the way, the new audio mix is very solid. When Jerry is throwing Charlie around the bedroom, there were some heavy-handed thuds that caught me completely off guard. The low end is general, pretty hefty, and I loved what it brought to the table. The heights are used mostly in a complementary fashion, and if you've seen the film enough, you know that there are certain moments that would utilize that space effectively, and it certainly does. There are some great immersive elements that use the rest of the surround sound environment, with the previously mentioned music throwing its weight around back there. Fronts are very robust in their delivery, with the center providing clear dialogue throughout. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Fright Night on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A-. Once again, Sony delivers a 4K picture upgrade to one of its catalog releases on the formats. Colors are much more pronounced, and the overall picture, I feel, is noticeably better when compared to its Blu-ray counterpart. This is a very good presentation from Sony. For the audio presentation, I'm going to score this one a B+. The upgraded Atmos is impressive overall. The added speaker real estate really showcases on-screen action nicely, and it makes for a satisfying mix. Fright Night's new Atmos will please fans of the film. So that is my review of Fright Night on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.